Coming up on the British TV Watchlist.
She's often the one who spots what the police missed. Over 20 years in her role now, the longest-serving lead in the show's history.
From cozy mysteries to intense police procedurals, we talk about the characters, performances, series, and episodes from your favourite British TV shows.
Hey, welcome back to the British TV Watchlist. My name is Michael T. And someone posted a question on Facebook several weeks ago. Who's the best detective of all time? I thought about it and I couldn't stop thinking about it because best depends on what you're even measuring, right? Ratings, longevity, or something else entirely. A comment thread full of people arguing wasn't going to settle it. So I built a system instead. I scored 100 detectives from across the British-style crime drama world. Not just Britain, but the wider Commonwealth, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and Northern Ireland, and Ireland too. Today, we start the countdown, numbers 50 to 31. 2 more episodes will follow, and by the end, you'll have a full ranked list of the 50 best detectives television has ever given us. And if you want to see all 100, just email me and I'll send it to you. Let's talk about how we built this list before we get into names. With the help of AI, I used 12 different criteria. Things like cultural impact, how long a show ran, how many countries picked it up, how deep the fan base runs online, and the quality of the writing and acting itself. Those 12 criteria fall into 4 families: cultural standing, reach and endurance, audience footprint, craft. Those 4. Each detective gets scored 0 to 100 in every category. Then those scores get weighted and combined into one final number. Now the weighting. Cultural standing carries the most at 30%. That's a detective's lasting influence on the genre, the kind of character other shows measure themselves against. Reach and endurance comes in at 25%. That covers how many countries aired the show and how long it stayed on the air. Audience footprint is also 25%. Streaming numbers, fan communities, that sort of thing. Craft, meaning the writing and the performances, rounds it out at 20%. One more wrinkle. Inside reach and endurance sits a sub-criterion called Commonwealth penetration. That one gets weighted by audience size. The UK carries 40% of that score. Canada and Australia get 20% each. Ireland and New Zealand get 10% each. It's a system built to reward shows that traveled, not just shows that ran a long time in one country. So in case you're wondering too, no, I haven't seen all these shows. Maybe I'll make it a goal to view at least one episode of each show represented here. All right, let's get into it. This is number 50 through number 31. At number 50 of the top British detectives of all time, Constable Benton Fraser from due south, a Mountie working murders in Chicago. I haven't seen this one. Number 49, Detective Jay Swan from Mystery Road, Aboriginal detective in the Australian outback, caught between the police force and the communities he's investigating. This one is on Acorn TV. At number 48, Detective John Cardinal from Cardinal, a haunted cop working brutal cases in the frozen north of Ontario. Number 47, PC Hamish Macbeth from the show Hamish Macbeth, a Highland constable in a tiny village. He spends most of his energy avoiding a promotion. At 46, Albert Campion from the show Campion, a wealthy amateur sleuth who plays the harmless fool with a criminal manservant and a sharp mind, sharper than anyone gives him credit for. At number 45, Detective Senior Sergeant Mike Shepard from The Brokenwood Mysteries, one of my favorites. Neil Ray plays him. He's a country music-loving detective transferred from Auckland to a tiny rural New Zealand town. The show is cozy, it's quirky, And it works because of the cast around Shepard as much as Shepard himself. His partner is Kristen Sims. 12 seasons in, 90 minutes per episode. If you've never tried a New Zealand detective show, this is where to start. Hey, we're going to get back to our top 50 countdown in a moment. First, let me tell you about the good folks at CozyEarth.com. I'm looking right now at some of their best sellers. Bathrobes are up there on the list. Comfortable, and you think about it, they're subtly sexy, right? You imagine you and your spouse in your own bathrobe. It's something to share as a couple. You can find it at CozyEarth.com. Get one for each of you. Use our promo code and you can get an extra discount of up to 30% when you check out. It's the best deal available. You help support our podcast, we get a small commission. It's a win-win. BTVW1. That's our promo code, BTVW1. Use that at CozyEarth.com. At number 44, DCI Cassie Stewart from Unforgotten, a cold case detective whose investigations crack open the ordinary lives built on old crimes. Nicola Walker plays Cassie. Might be one of the best detective shows from the last 10 years. We're up to number 43 of our top 50 British Commonwealth detectives. D.I. Geordie Keating from Grantchester. Robson Green plays him. Geordie is gruff, he's grounded, World War II war veteran turned Cambridgeshire detective. Grantchester is built around a rotating cast of vicars. Sidney Chambers was first, then Will Davenport, and then finally Alfie Cotterham. None of those vicars made the list. Geordie did, because he's the one constant in the show. Every vicar brings fresh chemistry, but Geordie solves the crimes in every single season. He's the rock the whole show stands on. The clergy just help him get there. At number 42, DCI Alan Banks from DCI Banks, a Yorkshire Dales detective whose personal life keeps colliding with his caseload. At 41, DSI Peter Boyd from Waking the Dead, a volatile detective running a cold case unit that reopens decades-old murders. Number 40, Detective Sergeant Jim Bergerac from Bergerac, a recovering alcoholic policing the island of Jersey, a tax haven full of money and secrets. It's where John Nettles was before Midsummer Murders. And here's number 39, D.I. Thomas Lindley. There are two versions of this one. The original Inspector Lindley Mysteries ran from 2001 to 2008. Nathaniel Parker played Lindley. Sharon Small played his sergeant, Barbara Havers. Then in 2025, the BBC and BritBox rebooted the whole thing under the simple title Lindley. Leo Suter plays Lindley. Sophia Barkley plays Havers. Different cast, different tone. Same source material, though, the Elizabeth George novels. This ranking treats Lindley as one character across both versions because the appeal hasn't changed. An aristocrat serving at Scotland Yard paired with a sergeant who couldn't come from a more different background. That class collision is still the whole engine of the show, 25 years on. At number 38, Superintendent Andy DL and Detective Inspector Peter Pascoe from DL and Pascoe, a crude Yorkshire boss paired with his university-educated inspector. We're up to number 37 now, DCI George Gently from Inspector George Gently, an honest detective transplanted to the Northeast in the 1960s, fighting a force that doesn't want him there. Number 36, Dr. Lucian Blake from the Dr. Blake Mysteries, another favorite of mine, a police surgeon in 1959 Ballarat, Australia, carrying wartime scars into a small-town murder. Hey, we'll get back to our countdown of the top 50 British Commonwealth detectives of all time. Just a pause for a moment here. I've never been a hat guy until recently. And I'm looking at the hats at Pins and Aces. Their logo hat is actually pretty cool. It's an ace of spades and a pin and a flag Pins and Aces. It is really cool. Lots of different styles and colors for men and women. And one of their coolest items, if you like to indulge on the course with adult beverages, check out the beer sleeve or the liquor sticks. You can imbibe on the back nine, skip the 19th hole altogether. You can find it at pinsandaces.com. And if you use our promo code, you can get an extra discount of up to 30%. It's the best deal available at Pins and Aces. And you can help support our podcast at the same time. We get a small commission. Here's our promo code, BTVW1. BTVW1 at pinsandaces.com. Now, number 35. This one needs a real explanation because Dr. Nikki Alexander isn't technically a detective at all. Emilia Fox plays her in Silent Witness. She's a forensic pathologist. She works the bodies, not the interrogations. But watch how the show actually functions. Nikki's findings on the table drive every single investigation forward. She's often the one who spots what the police missed. Over 20 years in her role now, the longest-serving lead in the show's history. The writing has leaned harder into her as the emotional and investigative center of every case. That's why she made the list. And now, number 34. The show first, Death in Paradise. This one's tricky because it's had 5 different lead detectives. Richard Poole started it, played by Ben Miller. Poole is the Englishman who refused to adapt to island life. Then Humphrey Goodman, played by Chris Marshall. Then Jack Mooney, played by Ardal O'Hanlon. He was warmer and more paternal. Then Neville Parker, played by Ralph Little, a character full of allergies and anxiety who somehow became a fan favorite. And now Mervyn Wilson, played by Don Gillet. My nod goes to Humphrey. He's the one who got a spin-off in Beyond Paradise. That's still running strong, by the way. But Poole deserves real credit, too, because he's the one who built the format in the first place. Everything started with him, and everyone who followed him is really just riffing off what he started. Number 33, Lord Peter Wimsey from the BBC series Lord Peter Wimsey, an aristocratic amateur sleuth. He plays silly and scattered on the surface, but underneath that acts, it's real shell shock and real vigor. Number 32, D.I. Jack Regan from The Sweeney, a hard-charging flying squad detective who reinvented British crime television as fast and violent and morally grubby. And that brings us to number 31, Dr. Tony Hill from Wire in the Blood. Yes, Robson Green again. We just talked about him at number 43, Geordie Keating from Grantchester. Tony Hill is nothing like that. He's a clinical psychologist who profiles serial killers by climbing inside their logic. And it costs him something in every episode. Much darker show. 6 seasons, ran from 2002 to 2008. The range between these two shows tells you something about Green as an actor. Same actor, completely different detective. That's 50 through 31. 20 detectives down, 30 to go in our countdown of the top 50 British Commonwealth TV detectives of all time. Next episode, we'll tackle 30 through 11. The top 10 will get its own episode right after that. And if you got strong opinions, and I have a feeling you do, about anyone we covered today, I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Right now, let's do a word on who did not make the cut. Building out the top 100 means leaving people out, and a few of these stung a little bit. Dr. Sam Ryan doesn't make it. She's the original pathologist on Silent Witness, the role Nikki Alexander inherited back in 2004. Pearl Nolan misses out too, the restaurant owner turned amateur detective in Whitstable Pearl, one of my favorite shows. D.I. Alex Drake from Ashes to Ashes stays just outside the 100, and so does DCI Mike Walker from Trial and Retribution. A couple of newer names came close as well. Emir Berry from Hidden Assets, Davis Lindo from Granite Harbor. If any of these feel like a miss to you, tell me about it. Arguing about who got left off is half the fun of lists like this anyway. And before we go, I want to say hello to our listeners in Grant, Nebraska, USA, Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. What a great name. And Ulsan, South Korea. Ulsan, by the way, did some research, is home to the largest automobile assembly plant in the world. It's where they make Hyundais. And wherever you're listening, aloha. Thanks for listening. Good to have you. And if you'd like to support this podcast, check out our Patreon site. Your support helps me create and produce the show. You can also support us by shopping at CozyEarth.com and PinsAndAces.com. Use our promo code BTVW1 to get as much as a 30% discount when you check out. We appreciate it. That's it for now. Thanks for listening to the British TV Watchlist. Till next time, cheers.
The British TV Watchlist is written and produced by Michael T. in Honolulu, Hawaii. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. All rights reserved. Copyright 2026. Michael T. Media.